Imagine you went down to your local bank and you go inside and you go to the ATM and you see a piece of paper on the floor, a very official looking document. And you pick it up, it has the official bank heading on there in color print. And it's got this 15-digit number on there. That's all that's on there. And so as you pick it up, you overhear a conversation around the corner between two bank employees talking about a new policy. And this is just a mental experiment, so it's not real. And the new policy is that the Federal Reserve has accidentally printed too many paper dollars. The number of paper dollars doesn't match the number of electronic dollars, so they need to get rid of the paper dollars. And every bank is responsible for withdrawing from their ATM a certain amount of dollars and burning the dollars. And this is a widely connected system, so no one bank has a specific quota. It's just the entire nation's banks are going to do this secretly until they're equilibrated. And in order to keep all of the records straight, whenever they pull money out of the ATM, they type in this 15-digit code. The money comes out, but it's not linked to anybody's account, and the serial numbers are immediately erased from the record. And when you type in the 15-digit code, it automatically turns off the camera. And so the bank doesn't really have a record of this money being taken out of the ATM. And here you are with this 15-digit code, and you're like, holy crap, and you put it in your pocket, you go home, you come back later when they're just about to close, you type in the code, the camera goes off, and it spits out $3,000. And so you go home and you're worried the cops are going to come, and you wait a week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, nothing happens. And so you try it again and you get another $3,000. And you're sure this is a legit system. And you're figuring, well, you'll just take out $3,000 a month or a week until they stop this program, and then you'll just keep the money because there's no record of it. There's no way to trace it. You don't have to clean the money or anything like that. Here's the question. If this actually happened, and while you were in the process, and let's imagine while you heard the two people talking, they said that this process might take 6 months to a year. So you've got 6 months to a year of being able to pull out money from the ATM, $2,000, $3,000 at a time without ever getting caught. All you have to do is type in these same 15 or this 15-digit number. And during the conversation, you heard one bank teller tell the other, one bank employee tell the other that every bank uses these same 15-digit codes. So here's the question. What do you do? Do you tell somebody, or do you keep it secret? Do you go on YouTube and say, hey, YouTube, look at these 15, type these numbers into the bank and you'll get out a lot of money? Or would you just keep it to yourself? There's this idea in economics called arbitrage. It's where you have the same product that's two different prices in two different markets. And it opens up an opportunity for easy profits. For example, let's say you moved to a new town, and there's only 2 supermarkets in this new town. And one supermarket sells your favorite bottle of whiskey for $20, and the other supermarket sells that same bottle of whiskey for $5. And you check with the local laws, and it's completely legal to sell stuff on the street. And so you go to this supermarket and you buy all their bottles of whiskey, and you drive over to this supermarket and you set up a table in front and you sell these bottles of whiskey for $15. And you have a big sign that says, inside the store they're $20, but right here they're only $15. And you sell whiskey for $15. The customers at this store save $5 and you make $10. This is an arbitrage opportunity. But the thing about arbitrage opportunities is they never last very long. Because someone's going to see you doing this, and they're going to go and they're going to do the same thing, but they're going to sell bottles of whiskey for $14 to take all your customers. And then somebody else is going to do it, and they're going to sell bottles of whiskey for $13, and then $12, and then $10, and then all the way down to maybe $6 or $7 because you need to pay a little bit difference to pay for the gas and the time. But this is what happens to arbitrage opportunities. They almost quickly vanish. Now, the same thing happens in a regular business. Let's say you have a fantastic business idea to sell some product or service. You do your research, you set up a shop, you start selling stuff, and after about 6 months of calibration, of calibrating your input prices, your input materials, your lower order goods, you put them together to make higher order goods, you calibrate your advertising, finally you've got everything set up, and now you're making a nice profit. And you think, well, I can just kick back and sell stuff for the rest of my life, and I'm my own boss. Well, not really, because what happens is once you get everything calibrated, someone's going to come and they're going to copy you. They're going to make the same thing. They're going to say, hey, that guy's selling this kind of widget. I'm going to make the same widget, but I'm going to change it a little bit, make it maybe use a little bit cheaper raw materials so I can undercut you on prices. And this is what happens in business all the time. You come up with a good idea for a business, but someone else copies you, and pretty soon everybody's competing for the same customers, and everybody's profit goes down to just barely able to survive. You can still pay yourself a salary, but you're not going to get rich. This is why business is a never-ending hustle. It's a never-ending competitive hustle. It's like what the Red Queen said in Alice in Wonderland. You have to keep running just to stay in place. This is why running your own business is very, very difficult if it's a legit business. Because as soon as you find some window into a market that no one has tapped before, everybody's going to copy you. There's this fantastic technique from copywriting that is based on curiosity. You could fill a real need, like if you want to sell golf clubs, you find out the pain points of your targets and you write a sales letter that solves their pain points, and they buy the product, they buy the new golf clubs, and the new golf clubs solve their pain points. That's one method. But there's another method that's based on generating as much curiosity in your targets as you possibly can. And this usually is associated with kind of scammy snake oil type products. And the way it works is you come up with some kind of a scammy snake oil product, easy, a little effort, a lot of results, like the easy way to lose weight or the easy way to make money, the easy way to get laid, and you come up with a fantastic sounding sales page. And what this does is it builds up the benefits so big and so fantastically that when you read this, you're thinking, this probably doesn't work. But part of you, a small part of you, is both curious, like, what if this does work? Or I wonder what kind of system this is, particularly if you describe the benefits with massive detail, but you're kind of vague on exactly how the product works. This will create massive curiosity. And so people read this sales letter, or the strategy is that people will read this sales letter and they'll have this kind of 95% this is bullshit, but 5% what if it does work and I miss out? And that kicks in our fear of missing out, and that's combined with, I wonder what kind of technique this is. Maybe this is something that actually works. It would suck if I didn't buy this and it worked and I got left behind, and I'm also curious about whether or not it works. It's only $100. And so they buy it not because they really have an expectation that it's going to work. They buy it just to kind of see what it is. And it's kind of like, it's kind of related to the emotions or the strategies or the thinking processes that go into buying lottery tickets. You're sure you're not going to win, but there's a teeny tiny chance you might win. It's kind of the same thing. It probably won't work, but there's this chance that it might work, and I'm curious what the heck it is. And if it does work and I miss out, I'm going to feel like an idiot, so I better buy this just to see. And so when they get the product, and it's some scammy product like they 95% expected, they're not that angry. They're like, oh, okay, I figured it was bullshit. I just had to find out. And they've satisfied their curiosity. Now, this is greatly exacerbated by a very, very interesting dynamic that a lot of people don't really understand. But once you understand this dynamic, that's in all kind of snake oil bullshit sales, you'll start to see it everywhere. Imagine some guy comes up with some absolute bullshit, make money quick overnight type of thing, get rich without effort. And it involves taking a chocolate Tic Tac, putting it in your left bottom gum, thinking of the color purple, and saying some kind of mantra that's based on ancient Sufi mysticism. And you have to do this every morning at 4:30, facing due east. or some crazy convoluted scam. And you come up with this fantastic sales page. You hire one of the greatest copywriters who ever lived to write the sales page. Then you make a bunch of videos to put on YouTube, and you hire some of the gorgeous models that you've ever seen to pitch this on YouTube. And let's say you spend a ton on advertising and you sell 1,000 versions or 1,000 copies of this process. Now, within this 1,000 people, if you took any random 1,000 people out in society, there's probably 10 or 20 or 30 of these people that are, for whatever reason, just about to get some money. Maybe one of them is going to have an uncle that dies. Maybe somebody owes somebody money and they forgot about it. Maybe somebody applied for a job a month ago and they forgot, and they're going to get this fat job offer. Maybe somebody is dealing with some kind of a financial institution and they made a mistake and they found the mistake and they're going to pay them some like big check because of the mistake. There's all kinds of reasons people just suddenly come into money. And this happens all the time. And so if you pick a random sampling of 1,000 people, there's probably going to be 10 or 20 or 30 people that within a couple of weeks are going to get some kind of unexpected money. And so you have this product that you've sold to 1,000 people. And 10 or 20 or 30 of these people buy the product, they put their Tic Tac and they say the mantra and they think purple or whatever, and suddenly they get money. But the money they get has nothing to do with the product. The money was just money they would have gotten anyways. But because of the way our brain works, we think in terms of cause and effect when there's no cause and effect. This is what the phrase post hoc ergo propter hoc means. After this, therefore, because of this. When we see things happening in sequence, we assume the first thing caused the second thing when it almost never does. So these people, they bought this TikTok get rich quick or Tic Tac get rich quick scheme, and they suddenly get money, and they misattribute their money to this get rich quick scheme. And so they want to flex. They want to say, hey, world, look at me. Look how awesome I am. I found a way to get magic money. And so they make testimonials. And their testimonials are kind of a half positive description of the product, but they're also half flex of saying, look how awesome I am. I made some easy money. If you want to be like me, you should buy this product. And I was smart and I bought this product, and this product made me money. That's a very, very easy way to flex your greatness, or what you think is your greatness. And so now you see this YouTube video with this gorgeous person pitching the product written by a fantastic copywriter, and they have 20 or 30 testimonials of people saying, I bought this product, and then 2 weeks later, I got $4,000. It just came out of nowhere. And now you're thinking, holy crap, I better buy this. Otherwise, I'm going to feel like an idiot going to work every day for the rest of my life. And this is how snake oil scams persist. But here's the thing. If they really did work, just like the ATM example, if someone did find an easy way to make money, they probably wouldn't tell anybody. And if there was an easy way to make money, like selling whiskey here and there, and it made you money, as soon as everybody started doing it, there wouldn't be any money left. The profits would diminish down to like just barely a little bit. So those are those two main reasons why most snake or any kind of get rich quick is almost certainly a con. Because if it did work and everybody did it, it would stop working. And if it did work, the guy who discovered it probably wouldn't tell anybody. Yet, because of the way our instincts are calibrated, we are suckers for get-rich-quick schemes. We have this FOMO thing in our brain. We have this belief in cause and effect that's not really accurate. So all these kind of things conspire together to make us absolute suckers for get-rich-quick schemes, and we have been since the dawn of time. So what does all this mean? Well, you can think of 3 categories of people in the world. There's a category of people whose lives suck. They accept their lives suck. There's nothing they can do about it, and they're miserable. Then there's people who have the same type. If you compare these two people, they make the same money. They have the same types of relationships, the same type of opportunities. This person accepts their fate. They're going to be in this grind forever, and life sucks, and fuck everybody. But these guys, they believe they're just about to find some escape. They're just about to find some magic thing that will make everything better. They're just about to find that one weird trick that's going to get you laid like crazy. They're just about to find that one weird combination of foods that when you eat them together, you can lose weight without ever needing to be hungry. They're just about to find that one system that's going to make them rich. They're just about to vote for that one politician. All you have to do is go down to the voting booth, put a check mark next to their name, and all of a sudden the world's going to change and all kinds of magic is going to happen. These people, they live the same lives, but these people are miserable. These people are thinking, I'm just about to get something. I'm just about to get something. And guess what? Whenever we think we're just about to get something good, we get a massive shot of dopamine. Dopamine doesn't come when we get the good thing. Dopamine comes when we expect the good thing. So these people are living their lives just like these guys, but these guys are miserable, and these guys are on a constant dopamine high. And so this is one way to live your life. Another way to live your life is to accept how reality works. If you really do want to become rich, you can become rich. But you just need to accept it's going to take some time. You can get laid like crazy, but you just need to accept you need to put in the daily grind of consistently improving your conversational skills and consistently improving your confidence. You can lose weight. You can get a Men's Health cover model body, but it's going to take time and effort. You can get whatever you want, but if you actually want to get that, not just have the continuous dopamine rush that you're about to get that, if you actually want to get this stuff, you can get this stuff. You just need to put in the daily grind. You need to continuously improve your skills. You need to continuously do things every day to improve your life and slowly get closer and closer and better and continuously go towards a bigger and bigger ambition. This is absolutely possible. But in order to accept this life, you have to get rid of the constant dopamine rush that feels good every day, but you never get anywhere. So this is a legitimate choice. There's no one that's right or wrong, but you can live life always high in a dopamine rush, or you can get on your daily grind and continuously get better and better and actually make more money and actually get more sex and actually become healthier and more attractive. But this does require you accept the truths of life. If you want to live this life, I can help. Check out the links below. Otherwise, thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.